Good morning, students. I will complete the chapter of history, culture, and science in the ancient period. Today, I will explain the point of sculpture. The point of sculpture, the earliest sculpted objects were perhaps made by Neolithic man. They were, however, very crude. The Indus Valley people used mud and clay to make objects. During Mauryan rule, numerous stone pillars were constructed. These pillars were carved out of rock and had metal-like polish. Some of them had animals carved on top. The lion capital from the pillar at Sarnath is very beautiful. So here said that the sculpture purposes Neolithic period, the man made different types of objects, and in this valley civilization we have seen that people used different types of object using mud and clay, and also during Mauryan rules numerous pillars were made, stone pillars were made, and these pillars were carved out of rock, and some of them animal carved on top. We have seen. So as for example, it is said the lion capital from the pillar at Sarnath is very beautiful. The art of sculpture developed further the growth of the Gandhara and Mathura school apart. Many images of the Buddha and Mahavira were made by the sculptors of these two schools. So here, two schools are mentioned, Gandhara schools of art and the Mathura schools of art. So, both schools of art made different types of images of the Buddha and Mahavira. So, this is the very important and very developed sculptures during this period. The Buddhist monasteries of the Gupta period contain beautiful stone sculptures. So one of the finest example is the statue of the seated Buddha. It shows the Buddha preaching the Dharma. The halo signs signifies his spiritual strength. The Buddhist monasteries of the Gupta period contain beautiful stone sculptures. So here seated Buddha from Sarnath shows the Buddha preaching the Dharma. The Pallavas and the Chalukyas were also patrons of sculpture. Mahabalipuram has many sculptures carved on rock. The most famous is the descent of the Ganges, also called Arjuna's penance. So, during the Pallavas and Chalukyas dynasties, so different types of sculptures were developed. At Mahabalipuram, there are many rock carved sculptures, and the most important is the as for example, it is said the descent of the Ganges, and the also called Arjuna's penance. Now, next point is painting. The history of painting in India goes back to the oldest stone. Many prehistoric painting have been found in the caves at Bhimbetka. During the Gupta period, the walls of the monasteries at Ajanta were decorated with beautiful paintings. These paintings, called modals, depict events from the life of the Buddha. Colors made from natural materials were used in these paintings. That is why these paintings have retained their glow. Even after so many centuries, every year thousands of people come to see these paintings. The marvel at the skill of the artist who created such masterpieces. Now point is painting. So the painting from old stone age, the many painting we have found in caves, as for example at Bhimbetka, and during Gupta period also. The walls of the cave monasteries at Ajanta were decorated with beautiful paintings, and these paintings called modals, and depict from the life of the Buddha. So these paintings, the life of Buddha based paintings, and they used colors from natural materials, uh, and even after so many years their glows have retained, and every year thousands of people come to see these paintings. Next is science. Science was advanced in ancient India. The town planning of the Indian cities was based on scientific principles. Knowledge of medicines improved largely due to the efforts of Charaka and Sushruta. Charaka wrote the Charaka Sanghita. Sushruta was a specialist in cosmetic and surgery. He performed thousands of operations, particularly the construction of the nose. Dhanvantari was a general physician. So here science was developed also ancient period, and the knowledge of medicine also improved. So here it is said that Charaka and Sushruta, Charaka the scientist and also Sushruta scientist, Charaka wrote Charaka Samhita. So you have to keep in mind who wrote the Charaka Samhita, Charaka, and Sushruta was specialist in cosmetic energy. Especially he performed thousands of operations, especially construction of the nose, and Dhanvantari was a general physician. Now, next, the science of the astronomy was also highly advanced. Romaka Siddhant is an important work on astronomy. Aryabhatta and Barahamihira were well known mathematicians and astronomers. Aryabhatta wrote a book called Aryabhatyam in Sanskrit. In it he stated that the earth moves around the sun as well as on its axis. The rotation of the earth on its axis caused day and night. In science area also, the astronomy was also highly advanced. Romaka Siddhanta is an important work on astronomy. Aryabhatta and Barahamihir were well-known mathematicians, so you have to keep in mind Aryabhatta and Barahamihir were well-known mathematicians and astronomers. And Aryabhatta wrote a book. The name of this book, Aryabhatyam. It is written in Sanskrit, and he stated that the earth moves around the sun. So Aryabhatta stated earth moves around the sun as well as on its axis. The rotation of the earth on its axis caused day and night also. He also explained why and how eclipses occurred. He found a mathematical method of calculating the circumference of a circle. Barahamihi wrote an encyclopedia of science called the Brihad Samhita. So this portion, this paragraph, very important. Barhami wrote Encyclopedia of Science, and this is known as the Brihad Samhita. And Indian mathematicians knew the use of zero. So this point also important. Who knows the use of zero? Indian mathematicians. Now they had special symbol for it. Later, this system of counting was adopted by the Arabs and the Europeans. The iron pillar at Meheruli in Delhi is a proof of the skill of the Indian craftsman. It was constructed over 1600 years ago. During the reign of the Guptas, the pillar is made of iron. It is 7.2 meters high and weighs around 6.5 tons. It is known as the rustless wonder because despite being exposed to the sun and rain for all these centuries, it has not rusted. So, the last paragraph is very important. The iron pillar situated in Delhi, and it is a proof of the skill of the Indian craftsman and constructed over 1600 years ago. In which period during the reign of the Guptas, and the pillar is made of iron. It is 7.2 meter high and weight around 6.5 tons. So it is known as the rustless wonder because despite the being exposed to the sun and rain for all these centuries, it has not rusted. So this is the last chapter of history and included in final syllabus. So your duty is to write the question answer. So today up to this, thank you.